Alright, good day everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I'll be showing you how to cut and sew this kind of shirts from A to Z. So kindly subscribe to my channel so that you will be notified anytime I drop another video. So let's go into the tutorial. So now the first thing you'll be doing is that, like as usual, you'll be folding your fabric into two like this. So you make sure that you fold it very well. This is a vintage material, so it's a kind of slippery, so you need to be careful. So you make sure that you fold it into two very well. Make sure that the two sides align with each other. So then after that, you also fold it in 2 inches. You fold 2 inches in like this. So that's for the button. That's where you attach your button. So you fold it 2 inches. So can you see 2 inches? So you fold it 2 inches. You can use iron to press it down. So the next thing is that you measure your length. The length is 28 inches, like you can see on the screen. 28 inches for the length of the trouser. So then you add 2 inches allowance. That's for the sewing, for the turning at the lower end. So that will give us 30 inches. Then the body, that the chest, is 40. So you divide 40 by 4. That will give us 10 inches. So you can see 10 inches. So that's 10 inches. So you mark it out like so. Then you add 2 inches. So you add 2 inches. 1 inch for the sewing allowance, and then 1 more inches. So we added 2 inches. That give us 12 inches in total. So you also chalk it at the down part here. So you also measure your length on the other side. That's 30 inches. So you chalk it out this way. So you chalk it out this way. So that's for the front panel of the shirt. That's the front part. So you cut it out. So you cut it out like this. So we are done with the front part of the shirt. We are done with the front part of the shirt. So you notch that 2 inches. So that you notch the 2 inches. Now we move to the back part of the shirt. Now the back part of the shirt. So you take your fabric like this again. So you turn it to yourself. So you turn it the other way around. So make sure that that 2 inches, the button side, is on the same side with the back. Make sure the button side is on the same side with this particular side of the back part. So can you see? Make sure. So you can see that the back part is also on the same side with where we have the 2 inches button compartment. So the next thing is that you add 3 inches. You can make it 4 inches as you like. So you add 3 inches to the back side, to the back panel of the shirt. You can see. So you add 3 more inches to the back. Can you see? So because the part is usually longer than the front. So you also chalk it out like this. You chalk it out like this. Then you shift the front panel. You shift it to the front a bit. So you can see that the front is 1 inch longer, wider than the back. So you make sure that the front panel, the front is 1 inch longer than the back part. You can see, look at the front, we have 12. And look at the back, so don't forget the front is 12 inches, so the back should give us like 11 inches. So now the front should be like 1 inch wider than the back. So you can see that button side now is like 1 inches wider than the back. So now at the top, remember we have 3 inches. So you shift it at the top, you shift them together. So this is the down part. So at the top part, so you measure 3 inches like this. So you form a slant line, so that will give you the top, the upper part of your shirt. Can you see a slant line like this? So you cut it out slantly, because the shoulder is not that straight, the shoulder is a kind of slant. Our shoulder is a kind of slant, you can see. So then you shift it back, you shift it down again. So now don't forget the front is wider than the back by 1 inch. So, and the next thing is our shoulder. The shoulder length is 19 inches. It's 19 inches. So you fold this one over it by half an inch or quarter an inch. So you fold it back over the front like this. You fold it back over the front. Let the back overlap the front. Then you measure the back. The back is 19 inches. So 19 divided by 2, that gives us like 9.5. So plus sewing allowance, that gives us 10 inches. So you cut it out so you chalk it at 10 inches like this. Sorry, the chalk is not really showing due to the nature of the fabric. So make sure that your fabric is well laid. So then the next thing is your armhole. Your armhole should be the same size as, so it should be 9.5 inches, and the same half measurement of your back. So you chalk it out. So you chalk it out like this. Please kindly subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. This is Ideal Clothing. So you can see clearly now. So then you deduct 1 inch from the armhole. So you cover to your armhole. So you make sure that it's like 1 inch deeper at this. So you cut it out. Now that 1 inch deep that we did on the front part, so make sure that the front panel is like 1 inch deeper or wider than the back part. So you can see. So that's the front panel. Then at the back side, so you can see that the back is like 1 inch in front. So can you see the difference? Because the front chest is not as wide as the back, as our back. The front chest is not as wide as our back. So you can see 1 inch difference. So the back and the front is 1 inch difference at the armhole. Then the next thing is to cut the neck circumference, to cut the neck. The neck circumference is 16 or 17 rather, 17. So you divide 17 to 4. 17 to 4. So that gives us like 16 1/4. 4 1/4 rather. So you measure that 4 1/4 here. Can you see that's the 4 1/4? You choke it out. Then that 4 1/4, you will divide it into 2 again. That's how I always measure my neck circumference. So that gives us like 2. So you choke it out as well. Excuse me. Then you join it. So you join it together. So you join it together. So you cut it out. So you cut it out like this. So you cut it out like this. So after cutting it out, let's check the measurement that we took. Let's check if it is up to 70. So from that point, you take the tape around like this. So look at what we have. I think we have like 8. Or let me just take it again. Let me take the measurement again. So from that point, that's the center. So you take it round. So what we have here is 8. So that gives us like 16. That gives us like 16. So we still need to add more. Next thing now is to form a shape on the side. Just from the end of this armhole, just form a little shape like 1 inch like this. So you can see just 1 inch, just an inch. Make a little shape like that. Then so that will still give us like 12 inches. That's almost 42. So make a shape like this. So we make sure that the other end there align is on. So make sure that the place align. So now, so the next thing is that you take your back. So this is the back. So you measure like 8 inches down here. So this is the back part of the shirt. So that 8 inch. So you form a straight line like this. Form a straight line like this. So that's what we'll be using to cut our back yoke. So excuse me. So you cut it out. So that will form our back yoke. So you cut it out like this. So can you see? So that's the back, not the front, the back. So you take another fabric. So you can use the same fabric to cut the back yoke, the inner back yoke, and you can use another fabric, maybe like a plain fabric. So far what we are using, the main fabric is a pattern fabric. So you can use a plain fabric of any color that matches, or you can also use the same fabric. So you cut another back yoke out, so making 2 like that. You can see. So you can see. So now we have the 2 back yoke. One will be inside, one will be outside. So that's all. So the next thing is now let's cut the sleeve. So I've torn my fabric into 4. So you can see now. So I turn it into 4. So the armhole circumference is around 12 inches. That's from the shoulder around the armhole to the tip of the armhole. Sorry, I forgot to show where I was taking the armhole circumference measurement. So you measure the depth of the sleeve at 5 inches like this. So that's the depth of the sleeve. The length of the sleeve is 11 inches. So I'm measuring exactly 11 because I will be using something to tape the edge. So now the sleeve circumference is around 15. So in allowance. So for sewing allowance, let's make it 8. So you make your curve like this. So that's the sleeve. Then you cut it out. So you can see now that we have 12 as the, which is the same thing with the armhole circumference. So, now the measurement is what? So we have 12. That's for the sleeve. That's all about the sleeve. So the next thing for us now is to go to the sewing machine. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.